Hey pals, welcome back. So today I'm going to be talking about some premium desk accessories that will elevate your workspace. Mindset is one of the biggest factors when it comes to overall performance, and I truly believe that creating a space that will help you feel more excited, engaged, and creative will inspire you to be your most productive. As always, you can find links to everything in the description. Also, just a quick heads up that this video is sponsored by Framer. Let's get into it. So, kicking things off, I want to talk about monitor arms. I never really considered these before, especially when I had the Apple Studio display on my desk, which didn't even have a VESA mount. But I was recently enlightened after seeing how much more ergonomic flexibility and adjustment options they provide. They clamp onto the side of your desk, which typically has a much smaller footprint compared to using the stand that comes included with your monitor. However, my desk has a tapered edge, which means that compatibility is quite limited, unless I'm prepared to drill a large hole for a grommet mounted arm. I wasn't super keen on that idea, so I bought this one from BenQ instead, which comes with a set of plates that sit in between the clamp in order to distribute the pressure across a wider surface area. Obviously this uses more desk space, but it's still way more practical than the stand that came with my Asus monitor, which is pointlessly large with no real added benefit. The BenQ monitor arm uses a gas-sprung system, which means it can handle larger or heavier displays without sinking or sagging, and also makes it much easier to adjust the monitor height compared to a spring-loaded arm. My favourite feature is probably the built-in cable management channels, which helps keep your workspace looking clean and reduces the visual clutter created by loose cables. When it's all said and done, a decent monitor arm will help make your desk a more comfortable and convenient space, and it's definitely one I'd recommend for most people. Now, I can't be the only one who struggles to remember keyboard shortcuts across all the different apps I use. So up next we have the Framer Creator Micro, which is a macro pad designed in collaboration with WorkLouder. This is essentially an input device that can be configured to quickly execute shortcuts and commands. You could assign one button to copy, for example, and another to paste, but the Micro is way more capable than this. This compact device has been created to streamline workflows across design, editing, and content creation apps. Featuring an over-the-top aesthetic and playful proportions, WorkLouder is known for their bold design language, and there's just something really fun about having a device that looks so quirky and visually interesting on your desk. Macropads are traditionally built with only function in mind, but the Creator Micro has a lot of character and genuinely helps elevate your workspace. It might look like a toy, but the build quality is actually very good, and it has a satisfying weight and tactility to it that feels very premium. The joystick and rotary encoder are really fun to use, and once you get familiar with using Creator Micro as part of your workflow, it quickly feels like an extension of your hands and allows you to find your flow state that much easier. Obviously, being a collaboration project between WorkLouder and Framer, the Creator Micro has been built to complement the design tool's workflow and branding. The core key set includes a range of Framer shortcuts, but there's also a bunch of extra keys which allows you to personalize the Creator Micro to suit your needs, along with a set of blank keycaps which I actually think look really clean and offer a bit more versatility, albeit with slightly more muscle memory needed. I found this device really helpful for working in Final Cut Pro in particular. I have a bunch of small shortcuts that complement my video editing workflow, such as quickly bringing up video scopes when color grading or toggling the horizon overlay to make sure I frame my footage correctly, and the Creator Micro allows me to assign these to individual keys rather than having to remember the specific keyboard shortcut. The default setup is perfect if you're building interactive websites using Framer's own platform, but the keys can also be remapped to whatever you need using the no-code configurator app called Input that allows creators to customize the micro to work seamlessly with any software. Framer have built a comprehensive list of contextual presets that will detect which app you're using and change the inputs accordingly. This ensures that it's versatile across a wide range of apps, and I've really enjoyed finding new ways of using it to make my creative workflows faster and smoother. Depending on your preference, you can choose between clicky or silent switches for the mechanical buttons, and there's also a wired or wireless version available. Personally, I think the Pro version should have been the one that included the polycarbonate frame, but I suppose this is just personal preference. All in all, it's a solid device that has definitely earned its place on my desk. The next accessory I want to talk about is this desk tray from Momentum Studio. It's really exciting to see designers put in more effort into peripherals recently, and this has been a really nice addition to my workspace. I feel like industrial minimalism is having a bit of a moment in current design trends, and I'm seeing a lot of products coming out of late that incorporate this style. I'm personally a big fan, and the tray provides your desk with a nice flavour of this look. There's an optional incense holder you can buy which allows you to use this as a burner stand instead. However, as I'm now working out of an office space which has quite strict fire safety policies, I figured I'd skip this for now. The finish of the anodized aluminium is excellent, and the curved design helps to break up all the straight lines typically found within a desk setup. The felt inlay also offers a pleasing contrast of materials, giving you a nice place to set down your AirPods or other essentials. I've said this in previous videos, but a mouse and keyboard are the closest equivalent to being the tools of my trade, and I think it's important to invest in quality products that I enjoy using and enhance my creative workflow. Logitech released the MX Master 4 earlier this year, and it's safe to say that it's been a permanent feature on my desk ever since. Its ergonomic form and extensive productivity features provide a much better experience than Apple's Magic Mouse, and it's a solid upgrade over the previous version, bringing about a range of improvements including a more comfortable design, nicer materials, and some additional functionality. It's available in black or white to match with your other peripherals, and the buttons are now dampened as standard, similar to the S model of the previous version, which I much preferred over the clickier alternative, which I always found a bit annoying. There's a button built into the thumb rest which brings up the new Actions ring, allowing you to quickly access a suite of tools and apps that can be customized to your liking using the Logi Options app. This feature is fairly useful and can definitely speed up your workflow, but it took me a bit of time to get over the muscle memory I developed with my 3S, which I had set to use some of the Mac gestures like swiping between windows and launching mission control. There's also a haptic motor built into this mouse which gives you a bit of extra feedback, but it's a bit of a gimmick in my opinion, and I haven't really found a practical use for it yet. I feel like this is a bit underutilized as a feature, so let me know in the comments if you know of any plugins or other ways I can make the most of this. Logitech has also moved away from the soft rubber finish found on the Series 3, instead changing the outer shell to one made from a smoother plastic. I've seen a few comments recently saying that some people now struggle with grip when using this mouse. Personally, I haven't had any issues, and I think the durability improvements are definitely worth it, as the Series 3 could get pretty stinking after a while. I thought a lot about whether to include a mechanical keyboard in this video. After all, the experience of typing is so individual and subjective that it's basically impossible to prescribe just one keyboard for everyone. However, if I set out to find the keyboard with the absolute widest appeal, I'm pretty sure it'd be this one. This is the Mode Encore, which was designed by fellow YouTube creator Matthew Encina, which I bought when it first released back in 2024. The Encore is on its third revision at this point, with an extended range of materials and colour options which are typically kept in stock and available to purchase, which is not something that can be said about most mechanical keyboards, which are typically sold as part of a group buy process that can take several months to ship. I've been slowly growing my collection over the last couple of years, and with each new build I've learned something new about the hobby. There's a lot of nuance when it comes to designing a product, but the Encore strikes the perfect balance between quality and accessibility. Even if you've never built a keyboard before, you won't have any issues following the assembly guide, and you'll end up with a beautiful device that will be the centerpiece of your workspace for many years to come. It also happens to sound really good. Speaking of quality sound, an often overlooked part of building a desk setup is speaker placement. I bought these 6-inch stands from Kanto to match with my YU speakers, and they've massively improved the near-field listening experience. Using a set of stands allows you to place your studio monitors in the most optimal position by directing the sound towards your ears and reduce unwanted resonance and vibrations from traveling into your desk. Not only do they improve audio clarity, but they also contribute to a clutter-free setup by allowing you to route your cables inside the support column. Even small optimizations like this can go a long way to making your desk a more enjoyable place to get work done. Another product that's found its way onto my desk recently is the Anticator V01, a rotary encoder that can be used to quickly adjust things like volume and brightness on your PC and Mac. I explained in my last video that I have one for each of my 2 desk setups, but I've actually bought another one since then just because I enjoy using it so much. It's available in 6 different colors, but I've been using this one with an aluminium finish as it pairs really nicely with the desk tray I mentioned earlier. It's a super simple device that can be programmed to do some really cool things like scrolling through browser tabs and control media playback. But to be honest, I just use mine in the default setting, which allows me to quickly adjust my volume level and screen brightness. Alright, that's all I got for this video. It's crazy how a few intentional optimizations can completely change how you approach your workflow. So I hope you found these products interesting or helpful. Otherwise, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.